Figure 4 Radio.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Figure 4 Radio.
Hello everyone, welcome to Figure 4 Radio. It's the Mastermind Ollie Spring. Today joined by Big Thrilly, BG Thrilliams. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So, where to start? So we're here, we are recording this. It's going to be out in the new year, but we're recording it before Christmas. So, how's your year been?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, same old, really.
So how long have you been wrestling for?
Just before I turned 19, about 4 or 5 months before I turned 19, and I'm 28 now. Just turned 28.
So you come over a decade.
Yeah.
Wow. One question I always like to kick off with is, how did you discover wrestling for the first time? Not like getting into it, but as in one day you'd never watch wrestling and then you discovered it.
Yeah.
Is there a cool story?
They're not really cool, but there's two little stories. When I was growing up, I'm the youngest of 3 boys, and my 2 older brothers had this VHS tape with a blue. Do you remember where it had the old flippy top on?
Yeah.
And they had that, and it was the best of Hulkamania.
Okay.
And it had like Hulk versus Greg Valentine and Andre the Giant and Macho Man and stuff like that. So that was probably the first ever time I watched wrestling. But the first time I really got into it was one weekend. My auntie and uncle came down from Thetford, Norfolk, and we didn't know what to watch on TV, or any of us. So my mum was going through the channels, and my uncle's wife then said, "Oh, put that on." So she put it on. It was WrestleMania.
Okay. Which one? Do you remember?
Don't know.
Okay.
I'm no good with dates or anything like that, or years of the Manias and stuff like that. But it was the match that was on was Austin versus Rock.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was the one where they were doing each other's finishes on each other. And since then, I just started watching it, and I've always been a Stone Cold fan.
Yeah.
Since then, never really liked The Rock.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think it was just because it was both of those, and I thought back then maybe that I had to pick one of them. So.
And then it's kind of stuck with you ever since.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's fair enough. Is there anyone else that's kind of been someone that you've kind of gravitated to? You were a fan of when you were just getting into it? Because to me, like, the people that made their first impressions on me are not people you'd ever want to say that's my favourite wrestler. So I remember watching on I think it was Channel 5 on WCW, and it was Tank Abbott. And he really stood out for me when I was really young for some reason. And if you ask me who's my favourite wrestler, he wouldn't even come close to being the top 50.
Yeah.
But he was someone that had like a real big, I was like, wow, that guy's got that knockout punch, and he just punches them and they're out. He must be really hard.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuck with me. Was there anyone that kind of made an impression?
I think there are a few like mid-carder guys.
Yeah.
That sort of, I think it was just like their character or their little mannerisms that they done in their matches, like Road Dogg.
Yeah.
You know, when he used to come out and basically introduce himself, that was sort of like nothing you'd really see apart from with him.
That was his thing.
Yeah, that was his thing. And then he'd do the shake, rattle and roll with the gyrating and all that stuff. And I always used to watch like, was it Shogun or Shotgun? Like their little Sunday show or something, and Velocity, and there would always be I remember there was like this like feud with Jeff Jarrett and D'Lo Brown over the US, not the US, the European European and IC belt, and the amount of times that I used to just sit there and just watch match after match, just checking all the channels, seeing if there was anything on any other channel.
Yeah. Cool, man. So how did you get into actually so did you just go from that to wanting to learn, or did you start going to like local shows?
No, because I didn't really know. I was very naive, to be honest, until I actually started wrestling myself, that there was anything near me to be able to do.
How did you actually start doing it yourself?
I started part-time work when I was at college, and when I was there, a new guy came into work, and his name was Josh Wall, who's now Kelly Six.
Yeah. Friend of the show, had him on.
We just started chatting about what, we both liked wrestling. I had no idea that he'd done it with a few of his friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he just said, "Oh yeah, well you should come down to this place with me and such and such and such and such, and we'll show you bits and bobs that we know, and then you can just start doing it. So I was like, oh, really? Yeah, awesome, definitely. You know, being a fan of wrestling for like 10, 12 years before that. So yeah, and then started off with that, and then obviously backyarding in the middle of woods somewhere, just on carpet.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that wasn't fun, taking choke slams on carpet. But yeah, that's basically the story of how. Yeah, it was through meeting Josh Wall that I knew that you could actually do wrestling.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, that sounds a bit weird now, but
well, I guess, and this is the thing I'm learning about backyarding is you can just go and do it. Like, granted, it might not be very safe, and you might not be taught the right way, whatever it is. But it's you can just. It's just a thing you can do. So how long did you kind of yard for before you got into a proper? Well, so I say proper ring, but from what I gather, a lot of the backyarders actually had rings. Like I think Osprey had one in his
a couple of years after wrestling with Josh back in Southampton, he obviously knew people like Will Ospreay and Ash Draven and stuff like that, who from Raynham in Essex, and they invited Josh and that up. So I popped in the car with them, and they were just doing it on like gym mats to start off with, and then they brought the ring in, and then we started recording it and taping it and stuff like that, and putting it on our own little website and stuff like that. And
is that footage still exist?
Probably somewhere.
Is there still a match of you? Like,
there is. Yeah. I think if you go on Vimeo and you search RCWA Underground or something like that,
I'm totally gonna have to do that.
And some will pop up. If you can't find any, I might have to try and find you a link. But yeah, I had some. Yeah, they were good years.
What's your? Because I've had Tim on. I've spoken to Tim about backyarding and things like that, and I've spoken to a lot of other people about it. It absolutely fascinates me, if I'm being honest. Like, in your eyes, is it the? Well, I'm going to guess you're going to defend it, but what is it about backyarding that so many kind of, I want to say pros, but you know, like people who have never done it seem to look down on it, like for like it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest, because you hear now nowadays of so many people that are in WWE or have been in WWE and TNA that have done backyarding for years and years and years. I don't know. I think it's just maybe they just see people who do backyarding as obviously untrained and unprofessional.
Which, I mean, untrained is true to an extent, I guess.
Yeah.
But just because you haven't had a proper training session, it doesn't mean. Because this is the thing I said to Tim. He's gone to America with it, and I'm like, I know people that are doing kind of proper wrestling that have been properly trained, that bitch about having to drive, half an hour down the road for a booking.
Yeah.
He went to America. Like, surely that's the type of commitment and dedication you want as a booker, right?
Well,
someone that's willing to do something, and some of the bumps, like you said, taking choke slams on carpets. That's not, that's a dangerous. It's a lot more risk than usual. So, but you're willing to do that for the sake of wrestling. So, the more I learn about it, I almost think that surely you guys are better to be looking at, and then get you guys trained and properly used to being inside four ropes.
I think it might also be just down to they might pick up bad habits from it, maybe rather than just being completely no training at all or no backyarding at all. They can be trained to do things the right way,
without
rather than being taught by one of their mates who might think it's the right way, but it turns out to be the unsafe way or something like that.
I guess, but still, I look at it and I think, man, these guys are they're passionate about performing, and you just get on with it. Don't worry about all the politics that you have in normal wrestling. So when did you actually have your first kind of, I hate to say it, but proper match, proper pro wrestling booked on a card match?
Probably for RCWA Independent Wrestling.
Okay, who was that again?
I have no idea who it was against.
You can't remember. Okay. What was it like for you, kind of transitioning from backyard?
It was strange because obviously you're no longer performing in front of your friends or people that are friends of your friends who have just come along for the day to watch some wrestling.
That's it,
You're now performing in front of members of the public that have come to and paid, whether it was like a $5 or I don't know, but and you've also got to try and communicate with them as well. Like when you're doing backyarding, you all know each other pretty much, and if they do a cool move or something looks disgusting but it's actually really safe, you're going to get a reaction anyway. Whereas when you're doing it in front of a paying crowd that some might have never been to a wrestling show before, you've got to try and coax them into the
you kind of have
into the atmosphere of wrestling.
Try and pop them in their way rather than trying to pop the boys in the ways that they appreciate. I guess.
Yeah,
that's fair. I'm just trying to think. Like, so obviously we met in DOA.
Yep.
So RCWA is one. DOA is it? Where else have you? What's kind of your background in the local scenes?
Nowhere really.
Is that just DOA? Okay, fair enough.
RCWA, I done pretty much most of their independent wrestling shows, but again, that was a lot of the guys from the backyard underground sort of scene.
So how did it evolve from the underground to overground?
I think it was because
they just had their 10th year anniversary show, right? Yeah. So obviously they've been doing things.
Yeah, I made it onto the back of their shirts. Now I don't know if you saw the shirts with the number 10 that had all of the names in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They were selling that as merch on the show, and I got on there twice as my two different gimmicks.
What were your gimmicks?
My previous gimmick was Damien Black.
Okay,
yeah.
What was it? Who was Damien Black?
Just a generic monster heel.
Sure, okay.
That's literally all it was. They said, "Oh, who do you want to be?" And I was like, "I don't know, someone new. I just wanted something fresh." And they said, "Oh, we'll come up with a few names." And
you picked one.
And I just thought, what's the most evil name I can think of? Damien. Okay.
Damien, yeah.
And then I just thought, I don't know why it came into my head, but I thought Reservoir Dogs. Like, you've got like Mr. Green and Mr. Pink and stuff like that. And I was like, well, what's your darkest colour? Black, obviously. Put them together, and I was like, oh, really? And I sent them off to Ash Draven, and he just went, yeah, that one's pretty cool. Out of the rubbish, out of all of them, which were pretty rubbish. And I just Damien Black was born.
Cool. And when did BG? Talk to us about BG Thrilliam.
I done my first DOA show was not last December, but year before.
Okay.
I was asked to do a show. I think it was quite a late. I think the show was going to get cancelled, but a couple of the guys wanted to do it anyway. So, and a few of us were asked to go up and help out, and we get booked as well. And so I went out there and met like Brett and stuff like that. And he turned to Darren, who was sort of running the show that day, and he just went, "So you booked two people called Damien?" And Darren just looked at him and just went, "Oh yeah." So, but yeah, after that, Alec didn't really need another Monster Hill in DOA, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But it sort of like took about 4 or 5 months, and I was like, why is he sort of like, I've done a show for him. Why is he, and like other people that I went up with that day had been there again and stuff, and I was like, so why have they been and I haven't? So I asked him, and that's when he said, "Oh, I don't need another Monster Hill." And then I was like, "Oh, what can I do to get booked there then?" And then I thought, and then I thought back to when I first started with Josh and that, and we were just coming up with names, no gear to match it or anything. It was just tracky bottoms, kick pads, and a hoodie or something. And I remember back when I first started, I came up with BG Thrilliams. Originally Robbie Thrilliams, because another guy I worked with just called me Robbie Thrilliams one day, and I thought, that's catchy sort of ish name, cheesy name, and then that changed into BG. I said to Alec, I was like, right, I've got this idea for this character. This is his name. This is what sort of gear he's going to wear. Bright pink. He's going to do the Santino Morella power walk around the ring every time. He's going to be a big bloke, so it's going to look a bit ridiculous as well. Yeah. And he just went, yeah, that's perfect. Come to the next show. We'll get some pictures taken of you. So we're ready for the show after that. And then, the rest is history.
Actually, that's my first ever DOA show. I see a guy, and I'm presuming his daughter, in the front row wearing a T-shirt that says 3 in the pink.
Yeah.
And up until I think the previous show that I did in Cambridge for DOA, I had no idea of the connection between that T-shirt and yourself. When Alec was telling me about the moves, it'd be like, because I think I got a few move names wrong. It was like, oh yeah, when BG hits this, it's called 3 in the pink. I'm like, okay, so that explains the T-shirts.
Yeah.
Where was that? Was that literally just an excuse to throw an innuendo out there?
No, me and Alec were talking. We've always been sort of like when I first started, sort of coming up with different bits and bobs for the character and stuff like that. And then I said, what can my finisher be? And when I first started backyarding, I always used the black hole slam. Because I watched TNA and I saw a bitch using it. I was like, that's an incredible move. I've got to start using that. And then I was like, but I can't call it the black hole slam because it's a bit.
If you were Damien Black,
exactly. It doesn't go with BG Thrillims. And then Alex said, "Oh, why don't you just call it the pink hole slam?" And I'm just like, oh, "No, that just I want to,
I think I prefer that name actually."
Really?
Yeah, just
pink hole slam?
Innuendos, mate. I'm all about the cheeky innuendos.
Oh yeah, I'm all about an innuendo as well. But it was just too close to the original name for it. So I sort of jokingly messaged him, going, "Oh, what about 2 in the pink? The adult, thingy 2 in the pink and everything." And he was like, "Well, no. Why don't you call it 3 in the pink? And that way, it's because you're a big lad wearing pink, and you get the 1, 2, 3 after you hit." And I was like, "Yep, done." I was like, "If you're on board, I'm on board. Yep, we'll do that." A bit tongue in cheek, but yeah, it is a little bit strange when you see kids walking around in a shirt with 3 on the pink.
I was sat next to Lucky Ollie Dean, and this little girl, as I say, she probably came up to our hips. It was a tiny girl walking past. We both kind of looked at her shirt, looked at each other like, is that? And then because at that point it hadn't been explained to me. This guy has this move, but call it this. That was a revelation. But I'm looking forward to calling that what it should be, which was going to be hilarious. So as far as matches that you've had recently, you're a bit of a tag guy at the moment, right? With Ollie Peace.
I was.
Or was that just for DOA?
That was literally just for DOA.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Me and Ollie teamed up once to take on the Ruckers, and I think Alec just liked what we did with the Ruckers. We had a pretty solid match, and then he said, I wanted to keep you 2 as a tag team, and I was just happy to be there. At that time, and he just said, "Yeah, we're going to put the belts on you 2." And then, unfortunately, Ollie's also committed to his own company, isn't he, with WrestleForce? So, unfortunately, he could only make like 4 or 5, maybe. That might be a little bit harsh. He might have made more, but so yeah, they basically sort of had. I was sort of like ready for them to take them back off. I was just sort of like. Ollie's not here. There's no point in me being I'm just walking out by myself doing singles matches with a tag belt. It doesn't,
So was it something you enjoyed doing when Ollie was around, or are you?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But again, it's just not knowing whether he was going to be there or not. Or one minute you'd hear that he's going to be there, and the next minute he's not, and it's. And I love Ollie. I've got all the time in the world for Ollie, and I'm not dissing him or anything. Because he's a busy boy. Because he's so busy. It's completely understandable, and I've never held it against him or Alec or anything like that. So
it's fair enough. That's fair.
And I wasn't expecting to become a champion like 4 or 5 shows into starting properly with the character at DOA,
cool though,
which was really cool. Yeah.
One thing we spoke about before we sat down. You are a bigger guy.
Yeah, I'm a husky gentleman, as I like to say.
I think a lot of times, in a lot of companies, it's almost like a stigma behind like the muscle guys and the getting in shape and all this. How do you find it as a huskier gentleman in the world of professional wrestling?
In what way would you mean?
Do you find it's because to me, I think it makes you stand out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But then, do you have any problems from? Does anybody else kind of giving you shit for like not being in as good a shape as they are? Or?
I don't think so. But even if they did, I could. You can always just turn around and say, "Well, look at what's going on in NXT and WWE at the moment." You've got big, Killian Dane over there, who's
big guy.
He's a big guy, and he is muscly as well. But he's big. He's big rather than muscly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a husky gentleman. Yeah. I'm going to use that.
Yeah. So sort of stuff like that. It's like I think it's becoming more acceptable now to be of different shapes and sizes in wrestling, rather than just you're out of shape, or you need to be more muscly.
Do you think that's down to the guys that WWE have started using? Is that kind of like the benchmark for the rest of the world as what's accepted in a way?
I'm not sure really, because I to be honest, I'd look at it the opposite way, and I'd say that it's because wrestling has become so big in the last couple of years, especially in England as well, that you've got so many places putting on shows now. Like my Facebook feed is just full of different shows.
Crazy.
Not that I'm getting booked on it. But yeah, and you just see all these different faces, and it's just like, well, I've never seen him before. I've never seen her before, and you just all these different people of different sizes and shapes, and big or small, tall or short. I think it makes it more real for the crowd as well. Do you know what I mean? Because they can also think, "Oh, he's about my size, so I could do this." If they're a lover of wrestling and stuff like that.
So, in like as far as training and things like that, have you ever had any problems as far as I want to say not keeping up, but
cardio's a big issue.
Yeah. So that's something.
Yeah, but I done one training session a few years ago at RPW with Josh and our friend Jack. And I was sweating profusely. A 3-hour training session.
Jeez.
The first 20 minutes was just running around the ring, doing army rolls and stuff like that, and then there was bump after bump after bump, running the ropes. But I felt like for a guy my size compared to all the other guys, I done myself proud.
Yeah.
And I also play to my strengths when I'm planning a match or in the match and stuff like that.
I was going to say, surely, because I don't think I've seen you take many bumps inside the ring.
No,
which I guess is
the thing is, a lot of people say, "Oh, you're a big bloke. You shouldn't be bumping for this person or that person." I'm just like, but
what else? Like, it's wrestling. Like,
exactly. I can't just and where I'm a baby face as well. It's sort of like, but if I don't bump or if I don't sell this right or that right, it's going to make them not look rubbish, but it's going to make them look a little bit weak because they're the big bad guy who's meant to be, so it's kind of like that really. But I don't mind bumping. I'll bump all the time if someone needs someone needs me to, like, because put me in there with Damien or something, I'm more than happy to bump about and stuff like that.
Have you had many kind of big man matches?
Quite a few, yeah.
Who is there any that stand out? Because I've got a few in mind. I look at them, I think, man, I reckon BG can have a good match with that guy.
I've had a few matches with Doan in the past. Back when we both done a bit at RCWA a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
We've had a few good matches. Dracul as well. We've had quite a few matches as well. Damien I've only faced once, and that was in a tag, a couple of times in tag matches. Yeah.
Was that in the 4th anniversary show as well?
4th anniversary, and we've done a show here as well.
We did have an awful lot to do together in that one.
For the tag belts, it was me and Ollie against Dracul and Damien, but we didn't really do much together that match. And I've had a couple of matches with Big Zeus.
I think I've heard the name.
Yeah, a big guy in a Bane mask. They're an experience. Good matches.
Me and Alec were talking about, like, if we were to book a DOA versus Sacrifice Pro, so my home promotion versus his promotion. And we were saying, like, there's a guy called Josh, in ring names had John Grimm. Monster heel, kind of big guy, comes out in the mask. Kind of looks a little bit like Abyss, actually. Now he's got this kind of Abyss style mask. We were kind of talking about booking that match and how that would be a pretty cool one to book. So it's a thing that I'm always thinking, like, I'd love to see, like, because this is the thing. I guess a lot of big guys come out as the monster heels. You don't get a lot of monster baby faces, and I think that's kind of, I'd say, refreshing to see. Because again, like you say, it's different. It's not something that everybody's doing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that Alex started booking me as BG Thrilliams, because you don't get, every big guy you see, it's never really a baby face that will walk out to the ring in pink shorts and start power walking around the ring high-fiving kids. They're always sort of walk out, intimidate the kids, and then
shout and then
just throw their weight beat the crap out of the good guys.
So. Your entrance music, actually, just remembered. So this is the kind of the first thing that kind of made me kind of come over and say hi to you. So your entrance music played, and I was like, I know this song. I know this song. I just couldn't think of where it was. And it's the Scruff, right?
Yep.
So
leave it alone by the Scruff.
That's it. So I before I really got into wrestling, I was a kind of music blogger and gig reviewer and things like that. And I reviewed I went to a Subways gig. At the Crawford Arms in Milton Keynes, and they were the supports. And I went in angry because the venue had been like, right, guys, who should we have supporting the Subways? We've got an open slot. So I voted for a local band that I knew that I was already friends with, but I was kind of pushing for them to do bigger and better things, and they didn't get it. And this other band called the Scruff did. I was like, oh, bloody Scruff, blah, blah, blah. And then I went along, and they tore the place down. It was insane. And that was obviously where I first heard the song. So they're kind of wrestling guys. Or?
The lead singer Adam is
was he a wrestler or just a wrestling fan?
He was a wrestler. Yeah, he was a backyarder back in the day.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So
I met him through meeting Ashley Dunn.
Okay. Yeah.
So I met him through that, and then heard that, found out that where I'm friends with him on Facebook and stuff like that. I've seen all this Scruff stuff come up, and I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go, another post. And then I sort of clicked on a YouTube link one day, and I was like, oh, this is good.
This is it.
It's just a different sound to music you hear nowadays, especially in the charts.
100%. Definitely.
So I've just started. I've never seen them live.
No,
because it's a bit of a distance from me anyway.
I can vouch for them. They were. We were going back maybe 4 or 5 years now, I think. But back then I was obviously they've just gone from strength to strength to strength, and they're getting Radio 1 play now. BBC introducing or something. Something along those lines.
But yeah, it was just strange because I think they only just released Leave It Alone.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool at the start. The slow build up and then it kicks in, and I was like, I wonder if he'd let me.
Yeah.
So I quickly messaged him and I was like, "You right, mate? Would you mind if I use this as my entrance music for DOA?" And he said, "That's awesome."
Yeah, because if that's me as a former wrestler and I'm now doing music and someone wants me to use that, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'll be pushing it on everybody.
Yeah. And he just said, "Oh, just get your promoter to send me a message to say." So we can basically sort it out for legal terms, they've an agreement and stuff like that. So that all got sorted, and I've been using it ever since.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, it's a really catchy little song. I'm thinking we I don't know how long we got till doors. This is the problem with these things. I'm going to need to grab someone else.
We have got 2 hours.
That's plenty of time. So today you are taking on Danny Darko.
Danny Darko, yeah.
Have you faced Dan before?
Only in the triple threat match.
Of course, in Cambridge. So
Cambridge.
So I think I miscorrectly called it when I was in Yarmouth. I think I said that it was Tim Lee that got the kick in the nuts and the briefcase to the face, but that was yourself.
It was the low blow from behind, and the briefcase to the back. Yeah.
So that was another fun match, right? Because I guess
I haven't worked a triple threat match in a while, and to be able to do it with Tim as well, because I've known Tim for quite a few years.
Okay.
In RCWA, we've had a few. I've really enjoyed having matches with him. Because again, he's one of these deceptive guys where he's a big lad.
Yeah, he's stocky,
the way that guy moves is unreal.
Yeah, I think
I really wish I could do stuff that he does, but it's just I struggle getting out of a chair without creaking, let alone being able to do a shooting star press.
But
and
then
stuff like that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he struggles to get out of chairs when
he's broken his ankle. Yeah. serves him right.
It's a bitch. Yeah. So I guess So from this kind of underground background, you've had a lot of matches with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
I guess. How many can you name? Because this is the thing as well. A lot of people don't like being named. It's almost like something to kind of hide from there.
I think most of the guys that I've wrestled, they're open about it anyway. Like Josh and Bill, Will Ospreay, and Tim and stuff like that. I think it's better to be open about it because then there's nothing to be found out.
Yeah. So you own it rather than. Is there going to be is there footage online of these battles? And if so, what would you say is the best match that you've had?
I don't know how much footage is out there. No, I don't know how much footage is left on that website, but there is a hardcore match that I had for the RCWA Underground title. It was from Britfest 2015.
I've heard about it. It's like a weekend festival. So everyone getting together and
sort of. It's basically like RCWA's WrestleMania show. That's what it's the biggest show that they did of the year. Oh Christ, that was a long day.
Yeah. Is this the one where everyone they camp overnight and you kind of wrestle, get absolutely hammered, wake up the next day, shake off your hangover?
No, I never really went to any of them.
Okay.
I think that sort of started dying out just as I started.
Oh, okay.
When I first started, we done a couple of them in Southampton. It was called Backyard something. BYR, Backyard Revolution, I think it was called. And it was like something that Josh ran, and he had people from RCWA like Bill and Ash and a friend of ours called Lee, and there was people from other companies, other feds and stuff like that as well. And it was basically like what you said, wrestle for the day,
just a bit of a crazy
have a chat and drink at the night, go to bed. I've slept in my car in a field, just next to where the base is for the wrestling before.
And then see, this is the thing. And as I say, the bitching I hear from people that have been trained properly that don't want to drive an hour down the road. You sleep in your car in a field just so you can do this with your friends.
Yeah, but we weren't even getting. We were paying money to do it.
Yeah.
Because you had to rent out the field and stuff like that. But. I think it just depends on how much you love wrestling, really, on how much or how far you're willing to go and do.
Yeah, and I think you guys clearly are willing to go further than others. Yeah. I'm not going to name names or all this, but you hear a lot of stories. I guess maybe people have been around the block a few more times. They just can't be bothered to.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't be bothered to drive up to Manchester, man. It's well, I guess I'm still in that kind of excited first year of I will drive anywhere for bookings. I don't care about the journey.
I must admit, doing the Yarmouth run from Southampton isn't fun.
So you actually live in Southampton still?
Still living in Southampton.
So Yarmouth finishes at we get out at 10:30, 11. What time do you get home from that?
Well, luckily I stay with Tom and Sammy now, so it's not too bad. I can normally get back. We normally get back to theirs for around 1-2ish in the morning.
That's about the same for me. Yeah.
But there was one dreaded day where I couldn't get my Sunday shift covered at work.
Oh no!
And so I had to start at 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday after a Yarmouth show. I think I got back home at about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Slept for about 2.5 hours and just crawled into work.
That is insane.
Yeah,
that is insane. Yeah,
so it was not a fun day.
I think for me, between Yarmouth and I do one in Wales, like I think they're about kind of a 3-hour drive each.
Yeah,
and they are. Yeah, so getting in at that time is a bit of a pain.
I think it's about 4.5 hours from where I am.
Jeez.
With no traffic.
Yeah, which probably doesn't happen very often.
No.
So as far as 2018, one thing I'm seeing at the moment, everyone is doing their wrestling goals for 2018, like these things they want to do.
Right.
Have you given yourself a list of things you want to achieve?
Not really. No,
you a goal?
No, I'm sort of. Might have a couple of little goals, but I just enjoy wrestling like I was when I was backyarding and doing underground stuff. It's about coming to. That's the one thing I love about DOA. You come to a DOA show and there's not many egos about. It's everyone hugs each other, everyone shakes each other's hands, everyone's polite, and we can have a little fuck about and take the piss and stuff like that, but no one takes it seriously. It's just sort of just reminds me of those days where you're just hanging out with friends and stuff like that. So but I would like to get booked at other places, but again, with work and where I live, there's only a few places near where I live,
and you're gonna have to travel.
You've got like Rev Pro and Lucha. I can't see me getting booked on Lucha forever.
Never know.
Or Rev Pro, but it's sort of. I would like to get. Of course, I'd like to get booked. Other places.
So I should shoehorn in the social media. So if there's a promoter that's listening,
definitely
wants a monster baby face dressed in pink shorts and headbands,
and has a finisher called 3 in the Pink.
How can they get in touch?
Facebook. You can just search BG Thrilliams as a fan page, and there'll be a messaging thing on there, I'm guessing. Instagram is the number 3_in_the_pink. That's my Instagram user.
I'm surprised that wasn't already taken.
Oh, so am I. Yeah. I'm surprised they even let me use more than one underscore.
And you've got merch. You said you had merch for sale as well.
Yeah, I finally got some merch. Got my
your logo. It's like the Agents of Shield thing.
Yeah, it's like the Agents of Shield.
I really dig that. Dig that.
Again, that was just through someone at work that we were just sat there just mucking up like that. It was a bit of quiet hour or so, and he's quite nifty on his phone and stuff like that and editing stuff. And I was like, I quite like the Agents of Shield logo, and I said, can you just add this word in it? And then he just done it, and he just put a big white circle around the outside of the bird, and then a line going through the middle, and it just says Thrill, and it's sort of...
It works.
Yeah, I've got it on my shorts, and now I've got it on shirts and a few stickers out there as well.
Yeah. Fun fact.
If you want a shirt, by the way, it's £10.
Yeah. When me and my other half did some pottery painting, and I'm sitting there deciding what the hell am I going to put on this plate.
Yeah.
And I did like an Agents of Shield plate, so I can pretend it's BG Thrillium's crockery at home. Yeah.
I bet your family's going to love that bringing out for Christmas.
Hey, Mum, have 3 in the... No.
Oh,
and bookings...
That took a dark turn quick.
2018 bookings, where can we find you next year, man? Or this year,
definitely DOA. Really enjoying it here. Try and get out there a bit more.
Are you booked for RCWA?
I haven't worked for RCWA for a couple of... Well, I worked for them last December on it was Will Ospreay's last RCWA show that he done. So I worked that, but then haven't worked for them since. They've just got so many people coming in. Maybe there as well.
I'll have a word with Draven and see what we can get sorted. Right? But,
cheers.
BG Thrilliams, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Have a good Christmas, New Year.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Figure 4 Radio.
There we have it, folks. BG Thrilliam's Big Thrilly style, live and in your ears on Figure 4 Radio. Absolute pleasure to have BG Thrilliams on. He's a guy I've really enjoyed watching in the ring and getting to know outside the ring as well. Really breaking the mould as far as kind of standard wrestling kind of cliches go in a way. You have a big guy, of course you're going to make him a big heel. Not in Thrilly's case. He's a fun-loving guy. As I say, he's wearing all these bright colours. Absolute pleasure to call his matches this year, and I'm looking forward to calling many, many more in the next year. And hopefully as well, another guy that we can help push out there and kind of get his face seen in a few more promotions in a few more towns. Really start getting the momentum up for the Thrilly train. In the meantime, if you don't already like Figure 4 Radio on Facebook, head over to facebook.com/Figure4Radio. Give us a like. Do a follow, a subscribe, a share, all that sort of stuff on Twitter and on Instagram. That's at Figure 4 Radio. Follow me, the Mastermind Nolly Spring, on Twitter. That's at F4R_Mastermind. We have our website, which is figure4radio.weebly.com. Head over there. There's all sorts of information on the team, some old blog posts. We've got some archives for you as well. And the archives, of course, are on Figure 4 Radio's YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/F4TV. Basically, every time we record awesome new podcasts like this, we have to make a little bit of room now because we've been filling them up over 2 years' worth of weekly releases, something that I'm very proud of personally. They are all moving over to YouTube, so do check out the YouTube channel. Go and have a look and see what we've got on there, because there is a lot of things on there. We've had quizzes, we've had Mastermind analyses, we've had Killer Kai Brands. What was it called? Sharp shooting with the killer. Sorry, Kai. And of course, we've got Brands Warfare on there as well. All sorts of stuff for you to enjoy. And of course, if you are a wrestling promoter and you want us to come along to your show and commentate, or if you're a wrestler, you've got some footage that you want to enhance with some commentary, get in touch with us on Facebook, on Twitter, any way you can. You can catch me at any shows for DOA Wrestling, for Wrestling League, for Sacrifice Pro, Hope Future, as well as a new one that's coming out, and also Exposure Entertainment Wrestling, all the way over in Wales as well. I'm hoping I haven't missed anybody out. But yeah, check out all of these great promotions. They're all doing great things in their respective areas. 2018 is going to be a very exciting year for me indeed, and hopefully it will be for you too. That's all we have this week, but next week tune in for more podcast action on Figure 4 Radio.